Guys, Tesla's up 7% in the pre-market. A lot of discussion today about the way in which it has bounced a few times now from very rapid 20% declines. And, of course, Cathie Wood yesterday on Closing Bell talked about how the company is really, over time, becoming a lot more comparable to Apple. Here's what Cathie Wood said.
Tesla has already passed through that phase of its life. It did invest aggressively, and it has on four metrics. It is leading the charge, so to speak. So battery technology costs lower than anyone else's out there and will remain lower. Artificial intelligence chip, it designed its own. No one else has designed its own chip. This is analogous to Apple in the day.
Interesting comments from Cathie. By the way, Morgan, who did add to at least DraftKings last night, I think another 800,000 shares.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Just to go back to the Tesla piece of this, I'm actually going to highlight Elon Musk's other company, SpaceX, because you can find more reporting on this on CNBC.com as well from our Michael Sheets. But SpaceX wanting to connect more than just homes to the Starlink satellite that it's putting into orbit right now, that it submitted an FCC request to begin installing and operating terminals on moving vehicles. So think trucks and ships and jets, and Musk even commented on this on Twitter, said they're not going to connect Tesla cars to Starlink, that the terminal is much too big, but that this is going to be aircraft, ships, large trucks, and RVs. Why do I bring it up? You got Morgan Stanley, Adam Jonas putting out a note this morning as well. It gets to the bigger, broader discussion, David, that we like to have around autonomous vehicles and the capabilities there, and things like eVTOL, which is those vertical takeoff and landing aircraft that are starting to come to market as well. But in general, the relationship space communications, satellite communications is going to have in being able to power this new wave of next generation technologies, including some of those names that Cathie Wood is invested in with her ARK funds.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn more about it, listening to your reporting about Starlink in particular, because it does seem as though it's something we're going to be talking a great deal more about as it starts to take shape. And
it's still early innings.
And running these autonomous networks. There's, in my world, the old wireless world, where we're obviously focused when it comes to 5G nationwide on the three big players, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, and then the question about Dish as well, and their rollout of some sort of nationwide 5G network, perhaps focused on the enterprise, but still somewhat unclear. They obviously do have a great deal of spectrum that they've got to start to put into use. But this could be a real thing. And I think not that long ago, Morgan, frankly, I don't think a lot of people thought it would necessarily become a real thing, other than perhaps Mr. Musk, who's made plenty of things become real over the last 10 years. Unclear exactly where it's going to fit in, but there would seem to be a great deal of demand for that bandwidth.
Yeah. And I think it also speaks to what we're seeing in terms of new space startups that are also coming to market via SPAC. Sort of that other bucket of new emerging technology, and just this race to put more satellites up into orbit to be able to beam back some of these different communication capabilities. It's going to be something we talk about in the next hour as well, Carl. But in the meantime, just to bring it full circle, shares of Tesla up 7.5% this morning, and helping to power the major averages higher, as we do expect a rebound in the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P in less than a half hour.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.